All right, interesting question that I received from someone who's based in India or Dubai, I'm not too sure. And the question is, how can I overcome burnout? How can I overcome burnout since I'm working a kind of a 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 job, almost 6 days a week. I'm absolutely burnout. And he, described his situation. I don't feel like getting up in the morning. I don't feel like going to work. My energy gets zapped out. I don't like my boss. I don't like my colleagues. I don't like my very depressing, sad, miserable life. It was more like he's not happy. He's not at all happy. He's like his boss doesn't encourage him, and boss keeps putting pressure, and there is work pressure, and you don't achieve your target, you might lose your job. And so he just asked me, how can I overcome this burnout? What will I do? Okay. So if you're one of these, this video is meant for you. Now, look, I'm not going to make fun of you because it's easy for me to sit down here on a chair in my room, make this video and act like an Andrew Tate. Come on, you need to be an alpha male and you need to take charge and all this and that. And I don't like to be like some of those YouTubers who like, you are an alpha male and, preaching as if they are perfect. Look, we all have our problems. We all have our difficulties. We all have our personalities. We are unique in our way. I'm not you, you're not me. Okay. Some people are emotionally strong. Some are not emotionally strong. Some mentally strong, some not. Okay. So we are built differently. So it's easy for me to give a one-size-fits-all solution. Like I can give you something generic like go for a walk, which does help. But, go for a walk or go do exercise before work or after work, or think positive, read positive, or listen to positive thing, or change your friend circle. See, all these things are very generic pieces of advice. They do work. But the question is, do you want to do it? If you're forced to do it, you'll eventually quit. Like I've told many people, go for long distance running. They do it for 1 day, 2 days, or once, twice, thrice, and then they stop. It's like having this New Year resolution. I tell people sometimes, eat healthy, and they'll do it for 1 day, 2 days, or then they stop. So if that interest and the passion is not there, it's very hard. So now, with regards to you having a burnout, okay, I'm very sure that if you Google search, you'll get all the possible solutions. You can type out in OpenAI ChatGPT. You'll get enough and more solutions. But then, I guess, because it didn't work, you're reaching out to me. So now, what's the solution? You'll be surprised if I tell you this, but the first thing what you need to keep in mind is, seriously, this question will really, you may not like it, but the first most important question that I would ask any client of mine, can you afford, listen carefully, can you afford to get burnt out? Did you understand what I'm saying? Can you afford to get burnt out? Like, let's say you're burnt out. Oh, I can't go to work. Okay. Do you have enough money to pay your bills? Like, let's say you get burnt out and you don't go to work for a week. So for 1 week, if you don't get paid, can you manage? Or 1 month? Or let's say you don't go to work and your boss terminates you. Can you afford to lose your job? Do you have that much money in savings? Or do you have a rich godfather? Or do you have a rich sugar mama or sugar daddy? I'm not making fun of you. I'm genuinely asking, do you have like a spouse who's working and you don't need to work? So if you don't have the money, you don't have a godfather, you don't have a spouse, you don't have any means, you have to work. Then if you want to eat, you have to work. If you want to survive, you have to do something. Let's say a guy who cuts wood here in the forest, he cuts wood, and only if he cuts wood, he earns money to buy food for the evening to eat, and then he can pay the daily rent, okay? Or he can pay the daily whatever expense. Now if he says, I'm burnt out or I don't want to go, He will not earn, he will not be able to buy the food, and if they don't offer him on credit, he can't survive. And let's say, for example, you get sick, okay, like I got sick, or you get COVID or something, and you are bedridden for 1 month. Now 1 month you're not working, okay, because obviously you're physically exhausted. This is not a mental, you're not hallucinating, it's not fake. You're actually physically weak. Mentally you're weak, emotionally you're destroyed. You are bedridden for 1 month. Then who's going to pay your hospital bills if you don't have any relatives? Who's going to get you money for food? Who's going to get you money when you go back home to pay your water, electricity, rent? See, if you can't afford it, then don't even think about it, boss. See, we need to be very practical in this day and age of this internet and social media. Oh, quiet quitting. Oh, burnout. Oh, balanced life. Oh, mental relaxation, emotional, hoo-ha and all that. It all sounds nice. See, who doesn't want a good life? Who doesn't want money in the bank? Who doesn't want, to be able to do what they are passionate about, to do their dreams and live their dreams and have the perfect wife and have the perfect employer and have the perfect client and have the perfect portfolio. Who doesn't want that? If I were to ask you, I'll give you the winning ticket to win 100 million US dollars. Fact, 100 million US dollars. Who would say no to it? Even I wouldn't say no to it. We all want a perfect life, but hey, guess what? We're not going to get that. So, when you know that reality, you know that you can't afford to become sick. You have to face facts, right? It all sounds nice to say that, oh, I'm burnt out and all that. But boss, I'll tell you about me. This is just my own personal example. When you don't eat food now, when you open the cupboard and there's nothing to eat. There's not even Maggi noodles, Coca noodles. There's nothing there. It's empty shelf. There's not even sugar, salt, nothing. And then you see empty dishes, and then you're just wondering, what am I going to eat? And then you go down the building. This has happened to me. And then you look around and you see people are busy, walking, shopping, whatever. And then you see a cafeteria, and there you see food being served there, and people eating with their mouths open and with their hands and their curry and their roti and then you look and your mouth is watering. Well, you have to pay money, right? You can't say that, oh, I'm mentally burnt out, feed me. Unless there's that temple, Golden Temple in India where they give free food. Well, if you're not there, or if you're not in Canada or somewhere where they give food stamps and all that, well, boss, you need to take charge of your life here. So all I'll tell you is, I'm not trying to make fun of you. I empathize with the fact that yes, there is something called burnout. Yes, there is something called a toxic manager, a toxic work environment, all this, but you need to be mentally strong here. Nobody, your mummy, daddy is not going to kiss you and, oh, you got boo-boo, let me help you. Your girlfriend is going to say, sweetie, I'll be there for you. Even they get fed up, yeah. Even nowadays, even your own lover, your own girlfriend, boyfriend, they'll be like, hey man, I'm not with you for, to have a burden. I have enough and more shit. You better, if you can't look after yourself, bye-bye, I'm not babysitting you. They'll tell you on your face and they will dump you, and then you can cry and say, when I wanted someone the most, even my own friend deserted me. Yeah, because they have to survive, right? So I'll just leave you with this. Life is, the philosophical statement, life is unfair. There's a lot of shit. We all have our big, mega, heavy crosses to carry which are difficult. All of us have problems, and they are never going to end. Every day there's going to be a new problem. Like in office, work never ends. There is always work. Okay? So just take one day at a time. Just take one day at a time and remind yourself, I need to go through this. And if ever you indulge in self-pity, remember right now, at this very moment, there is somebody in Palestine, actual facts, huh? In Palestine, who doesn't have water, doesn't have electricity, doesn't have a house, doesn't have a place to shit, doesn't have water to wash if he shits, has nowhere to apply for a job, has no place to go. The only food that he will get is if the delivery truck comes at a particular time. And even if it comes, if you're lucky, you'll get a bowl of rice. And then to cook the bowl of rice, you'll need some water. They take it from, if they're lucky, without taking sewage water. And he has to live that same day, every day, and then sleep, no AC, no bed, somewhere. And at the same time, there is a chance of some bomb falling or losing his hand or leg or something. And he has lost his wife, he has lost his child, he has lost his family. So if you don't want to be in his shoes, are you willing to exchange? Like, you would prefer to be where he is, not have a hand, not have a leg, be blind, or you don't want to be there, right? Then count your blessings, boss. You have hands, you have legs. I'm not saying life is going to be easy. But if you don't want to be in the worst of the worst case scenario, like in Africa where they actually eat sand with little bit of sweet sand, actual sand, baked sand, you can check it on YouTube. You don't want to live that kind of life where there's no job, no employment, nowhere to go, no electricity, no water, no hope, nothing. You just have to exist. So you don't want to be there? At least you have a job. At least you have a boss, even if he's an asshole. At least you have some salary coming end of the month. Don't take life for granted. I'm not trying to be preachy, but whenever I feel down, sometimes this is what I think. At least I have a YouTube camera, internet, able to do all this. Sometimes I see these videos, incarcerated in solitary confinement for 30, 35 years. They're locked in a room, no internet, no light, no nothing. Just you. In the darkness, there's one toilet at the end, and you can't see the clock, you can't see anything. And at a particular time, food will be just put in through the tray, you eat, and then you want to shit, poop, whatever at the side, and you sleep quietly. And they're kept there for 30, 35 years. So if you don't want that, count your blessings. Hope this video helps you. Good, bad, ugly, let me know what are your thoughts in the comments below. And sincerely, from heart of hearts, I hope you overcome the mental block, the emotional block, whatever is preventing you, and you find your version of success or happiness. Alright? Comment down below. This is me signing off. You guys take care.